Hey, Precious, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you doing?
All right. Just kind of first thing, have in terms of the teams you've been able to talk to, has Sacramento been one of those teams yet?
Yes.
And how was that? How was that meeting, and what did they want to learn about you in that meeting?
Just pretty much, about myself, who I am, where I grew up, how, and where I was born. Really, just a general knowledge of who I am as a person and how I got to playing basketball, and just how I think I could fit into their system.
And how do you think you would fit into their system? I know they have the same coach, but they want to play fast. They want to play up tempo. They want to shoot the three a lot. They want to really play at a fast pace. So how do you see yourself fitting in that system at the next level?
Just bringing a lot of energy to the team. Really being able to switch ball screens, guarding multiple positions, and rebounding the ball, just really on the defensive part, side of the ball game.
And they say that big guys sometimes need a little more time. How ready do you feel to help out a team next season?
I think defense is something I could bring to the table right away. On the NBA team, just watching the games and seeing how much they're picking on the weakest link on defense. I believe that's one of my strengths, and that's something I could bring to the table. And that's something I could bring to the table right away on the NBA team.
Next question from Chris Miller.
Definitely, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. You mentioned it just a little bit there, what you could bring right away. I'm curious, one, have you met with the Washington Wizards?
Yes, I have.
Um, and I heard from Jalen Smith yesterday. He talked about meeting with them. He thought it was a pretty laid back kind of meeting. Would you agree with that same assessment? And my second part of the question is right away, what do you think you bring to a team? Thanks.
Um, like I said before, I believe I could bring defense, to the team right away, and also rebounding the ball, just really on the defensive side of the ball game, and just being able to bring a lot of energy and do whatever is asking me to do by the coaches.
Next question from Ian Begley.
Precious, thanks a lot for doing this. Have you spoken to the Knicks or Nets at all during the pre-draft process?
Yes, I have.
And was that pre-lottery or post-lottery?
That was pre-lottery.
And also, just for you with this whole process and the draft kind of getting pushed back a few times, has that impacted your approach, your training, the way, obviously no summer league, but the way you're now getting ready for next season?
Yes, I'd say it has because there's a lot of times there's a lot of uncertainties, pre the date that we have set right now, and it's definitely affected my training and the way I train because you know I have to pace myself, put myself on the pace, and where I don't burn out, where I get where I'm trying to get to, and do it very efficiently, you know, and just because everything was so uncertain at the beginning, I didn't really know, how much how much I should go every day, but just because there was no set date, but now there is, it's a lot easier for, well, not just myself, but every other player, to properly pace themselves on how to train.
Thank you.
Next question from Chris Fedor.
Hey, Precious. Thanks for doing this. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you.
I know you met with the Cavs during this pre-draft process. What was the vibe like from their organization?
It was good. We talked about a lot of things. Just really, they were trying to get to know me, get to know where I'm from, my background, how I started playing basketball, and just really, it was just really, trying to get a feel of who I am and what I'm about.
And have you gotten a gauge from your agent about the range that you're expected to go in the draft?
No, I haven't gotten engaged.
Next question from Greg Logan.
Hi, Precious. I covered your brother, God's Gift, at St. John's several years ago. I'm just wondering, can you tell me what he's doing now and what kind of influence has he had on your development?
He's had a tremendous influence on my development. It's someone I could always go to, talk about anything because he played at a really high level. He actually had success playing at that level. So, playing in college for me, I was able to go to him, talk about the games and things he saw and how to make adjustments and how to, move on from things like that. So he was always there for me. And he was someone that I could always, talk to about basketball because he understood the game and he played at a high level too.
And did he go on to play pro any place?
No, he didn't go on to play pro. He played on the Nigerian national team. They went to Australia for Commonwealth Games. Yeah, that was it.
Mm-hmm. And also, your success last year, I think, caught some people a little bit by surprise after Wiseman was injured. What did that show you that you're capable of, and is that the reason that you decided to go ahead and turn pro right away?
I mean, my goal was to be able to put myself in a position where I could become a pro. That was one of the reasons I chose University of Memphis to play for under a coaching staff like that. That had a lot of experience in the NBA. I could learn from them and also play against a lot of good players. And a lot of things happened last year, and for me it was just that every situation that happened, just really showed me that I could really I could thrive under adversity. And find ways to be successful no matter what the outcome is.
Next question, Dwayne Rankin.
Thanks, Mark. I wanted to piggyback off of what you was just asked. I plan for Coach Hardaway, who obviously had great success in the NBA. What are things that he's talked to you about or that you have experienced with him this season that you feel like will benefit you going to this next level?
A lot of things, how really how to be a pro, how to approach the game, how to carry yourself as a pro and stuff like that. So it's really a lot of things that, I really don't know where to start or where to finish on the things that I learned from him. He really taught me a lot of things, on my time at Memphis. And at the end of the day, it's just really how to, be successful on my time at Memphis. And, at the end of the day, it's just really how to, be successful at the next level and what they're looking for and how to.
First, has the Suns talked with you yet?
Yes.
Okay. And then secondly, what do you think of their organization and as far as personnel? And I know you've talked about defense. We know you can play on that end, but you can get some offense as well. What do you feel like you can bring to the table immediately offensively?
Just really whatever the coaching staff, asking me to do. Like I said before, it's just, I'm going to do whatever they tell me to do on the offensive side of the game or on the defensive side of the game. Just whatever they, I'm going to do whatever they tell me to do on the offensive side of the game or on the defensive side of the game. Just whatever they wanted me to do, that's what I'm going to go out there and do.
Next up, Tom Orsborn.
Hey, Precious, thanks for doing this.
Orsborn.
Hey, Precious, thanks for doing this. The Spurs are in need of front court depth, and they're always looking for tough, committed defenders. Hey, have you talked? They've got a talented young core with Lonnie Walker, Derek White, DeJounte Murray. Can you envision yourself with that group getting out and running like they did in the bubble?
Yeah, I like a really fast-paced team, and I know they play really fast-paced, so I can see myself playing in a system like that.
And just playing for a coach like Pop, the all-time great, one of the all-time greats, and
coaches, yes.
Defense. What would how can you envision that being?
I think it's a blessing, playing for a coach that's considered one of the best all-time to ever, coach in the NBA. I think it's a blessing to me being in a position where I can learn a lot from him, and one of the best all time to ever, coach in the NBA. I think it's a blessing just me being in a position where I can learn a lot from him. And
Thank you.
thank you.
Next up, Alex Kennedy.
Hey, Precious. Thanks for doing this. What's it been like going through this process, in a year like this where everything's virtual, everything's over Zoom? Has that been an adjustment, and what's that process been like?
I mean, it's been very, very different, I'd say. Not something that I really envisioned from the beginning, but like I said before, it's different, and all comes down to pacing yourself, as a player, just knowing what you need to do or how to go about it. So for me, it's really been that. It's really different, though we all know about that, but just me being able to just pace myself and know what I need to do or what I need to work on my game, and how to improve my all about that. But just me being able to just pace myself and know what I need to do or what I need to work on my game, and how to improve my overall pack. I don't know what the challenges are because I've never been in this position, the pre-draft position before, so I don't know how other years or how other athletes that went through this process. I know I'm experienced. This is my first experience, so I can't really tell you, if this year, if this experience is better than last year's or last year's is better than this year. So,
Sure. Thank you.
thank you.
Next question from Benoit.
Yes. Hi, Precious. Thank you for taking the time. Your project and the NBA level has a little bit of a do-it-all big. You can shoot a little bit. You can defend. You're physical. You can pass. What are, according to you, the areas that you need to work on, that you need to improve?
The areas that I need to improve are my shooting, my passing, and my dribbling. Just really my offensive part of the ball game. Just being able to, make those decisions a lot quicker, a lot faster, and working on my jump shot every day. That's something I've really focused on, and getting that to where it needs to be at.
And is there a wrinkle to your game you think is going to surprise people next year, like something people don't know about yet?
Excuse me, say that again?
Is there a wrinkle to your game? Is there a part of your game that you think people are going to be impressed by, like that people don't know you have yet in your arsenal?
No, I don't think there's anything in my game that people do not know I have. Like I said before, it's really going to come down to the coaching staff, wherever I end up at, to put me in a position where, whatever they ask me to do, that's what I'm going to go out and do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Adam Zagoria, go ahead.
Hey, Precious, good seeing you, man. Hope you're doing good.
Doing good. How you doing?
Good. I know you mentioned the Knicks and the Nets. And obviously, you lived up here in New York and the Bronx for a little while, and you were at St. Benedict's. What would it mean to you to play for the Knicks at the Garden? And what was their message to you in the when you had the meeting with them?
Coming back, like I said, I've lived here really for a really long time since I moved to the United States. Being able to play for the home team would be very, that's a blessing, I think. Playing in a stage like New York, in a big stage, it's a blessing. Just being in a position where I could come back home and play here, I think is a blessing.
When you had the meeting with them, what kind of things did they? When you had the meeting with them, what kind of things did they ask you, or what did they say they were looking for?
Just really finding out who I am, what I think I could bring to the table, to an NBA team, and just stuff like that. My strengths, my weaknesses, and that's really it.
Yeah, thanks. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Next up, Omari.
Hey, Precious, thanks for doing this. I was just curious, have you talked to the Detroit Pistons yet?
Yes.
Out of this overall virtual draft combine, which has obviously given players such as yourself maybe a few more opportunities to kind of show what you can do ahead of the November draft?
Just really, showing things that I could do, just showing the things I've been working on over quarantine, over pandemic. Just showing my overall game, my overall package, and how much it's improved.
Aaron Rose.
Hey, Precious. Thanks for doing this. Have you spoken to the Raptors?
No, I have not.
You have not. I'm looking at their team with Siakam and Anunoby. Are they players that you look at as similar to yourself, as maybe you kind of aspire to be like?
Like I said, those guys are players that are put in positions by their teams to do what they asked of, and those guys are players that are put in positions by their teams to do what they asked of, and at the end of the day, it all comes down to whatever team, whatever coach from Cameroon, and OG from Nigeria. There's a guys that obviously I'm familiar with. I actually know both of them personally, so obviously, so it's just at the end of the day, it all comes down to what they've been asked to do and what I'm gonna be asked to do and how successful I am in those roles.
Can you expand on your relationship with them? Have they mentored you in any way, or what's that like? How do you know them?
Oh, I know Pascal through a mutual friend and OG as well.
Thank you.
Leo's son up next.
Hey, Precious. My question for you is about shooting the three from NBA range. What percentage do you think you can shoot the three reliably right now from three? And what percentage do you think you would like to get to from shooting the three?
I don't know what percentage I'm shooting the three right now from NBA range. I haven't played in an NBA game yet, but my goal, is to be a knockdown shooter in the NBA level. That's my goal. And constant work. Obviously, that's my goal. And constant work. Obviously, to one day become, a respected jump shooter in the NBA from three.
Precious, Alder next.
Hi, Precious. Thank.
Just a few more, Precious. Alder next.
Hi, Precious. Thank you for doing this. Going back to the Knicks interview, can you expound more what you basically told them about you that they didn't know yet?
Just how I grew up. It was just more like personal stuff that I haven't really put out there.
Can I have a follow-up question? What was your impression after that interview with the Knicks organization?
Excuse me, can you say that again?
What's your takeaway or your impression on the Knicks organization after that interview?
I think it's a blessing to be able to sit in an interview with the New York Knicks, because given the history and the place they're located, just being able to actually be in a conversation with them is a blessing. And given the fact that I've lived in New York for a really, really long time, and it would be such a big blessing to be able to represent the home team.
Go ahead, Christos.
Hello, Precious. Thanks for your time. First of all, how helped you the Memphis program to grow up as a player and as a person, and how productive was the last season for you?
Excuse me, can you please repeat that?
Yeah, you hear me? First of all, how helped you the Memphis program to grow up as a player and as a person, and also how productive was the last season?
So how productive was the last season?
Yeah, how productive for you was the last season?
I think last season we experienced a lot of unfortunate events, and we had players leave the team. We had injuries really early, and we were the youngest team in America, the Division I level, and we also had a lot of injuries. I had had DJ Jeffries at one point, middle of the season, got hurt, and then he had the flu, and then Lester got hurt, and it was just a lot of things. And then we had players that were in slumps, for most part of the season. But just being able to just fight through, all those obstacles and be able to, grind out a lot, all those obstacles and be able to, grind out a lot of wins. For me, it was just really, really big, and I really, we all stuck together and we were able to like make something out of that season. It was really, really huge.
And we have time for two more, Rylan and then Francois.
Hey, Precious, have you talked to the Oklahoma City Thunder at all? And if you have, what do you see your fit there with Shea and their young guys like Darius Baisley and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander?
Yes, I have spoken to them, and they play fast. So just being able to be in a position like that, like I said earlier, which, where I like playing fast, but we go up and down a lot, would be, good. And also being around, young guys like that, I think is also huge.
Thank you.
Okay, last question from Francois. Go ahead.
Thank you, Precious, for taking the time. So you were
question from Francois. Go ahead.
Thank you, Precious, for taking the time. So you were supposed to play next to James Wiseman in Memphis, but we know how that turned out. Next to a traditional big, or would you be able to play as a small ball five? Thank you.
It's whatever. The team right now, a lot of teams. I'm very, very comfortable playing the small ball five. A lot of that's the way the NBA is going right now. If you are following the bubble games, you see. Let me say, take Miami Heat for example. They have a small ball five and Bam Adebayo. You take Toronto Raptors, or if you take the Celtics, they go small a lot of times. Even the Lakers against Houston went small, which they had Marquise playing the five for a lot of those games. So that's the trend where basketball is kind of turning into, and I'm very, very comfortable playing small ball five.
All right, thank you. Good luck, man.
Precious, I appreciate your time today, and good luck with the rest of this process leading up to the draft.
Thank you.
All the media, thank you for attending today, and